Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the first ever Marketing and Branding Forum hosted by the Asian American Entrepreneur Association, AAEA. My name is Jianping Skolman. I'm honored to be your host for this exciting event. Tonight, we gather not just as a community, but as a collective force of visionaries, innovators, and leaders committed to winning in today's hyper-competitive marketplace. The AAEA's mission is clear. We are not just a social networking platform. We are a movement dedicated to equipping our members with the knowledge, wisdom, and experience necessary to thrive in their respective fields. Tonight's forum is a testament to that mission. We're here to explore one of the most critical concepts in modern marketing, differentiation. As Jack Trout, the legendary marketing strategist, famously said, differentiate or die. In an era of killer competition, differentiation is not just a strategy, it's survival. We're privileged to have an extraordinary VIP guest join us tonight, Dr. Wang Ming, a Harvard and MIT trained medical doctor, CEO of LUSA, and director of the Wang Vision Institute. Dr. Wang's remarkable journey inspired the film Sight, and his insights into differentiation, both in business and in life, are phenomenal. He will kick off our forum with a presentation on differentiate or die, highlighting Jack Trout's timeless marketing methodology. The forum will consist of 3 parts. The first part, Dr. Ming's presentation on differentiation and Jack Trout's principles. Secondly, a hosted discussion where I will ask Dr. Ming some questions to deepen our understanding. Thirdly, an interactive Q&A sessions with all of you. You can post your questions in the chat at any time during the forum, and selected participants may have the opportunity to ask questions directly. Now, please join me in welcome Dr. Ming Wang. Dr. Ming Wang, let me just introduce to all of you, Dr. Ming Wang. Dr. Ming Wang, a Harvard and MIT graduate, is one of the few laser eye surgeons in the world today who holds a doctorate degree in laser physics. He has performed over 55,000 procedures, including on over 4,000 doctors. The film Sight is based on Dr. Wang's autobiography, From Darkness to Sight, co-starring Greg Kinnear. As a teenager, Ming suffered greatly in China and came to America with only $50 and earned 2 doctorate degrees, one in laser physics and one in medicine, and graduated with the highest honors from Harvard Medical School and MIT. Amniotic membrane contact lens, which Dr. Wang has invented and holds 2 US patents, has now been used by tens of thousands of eye doctors throughout the world, and millions of patients have had their eyesight restored. One Foundation for Sight Restoration has helped patients from over 40 states in the US and 55 countries with all sight restoration surgeries performed free of charge. Dr. Wang was named the Kiwanis Latvian of the Year for his lifelong dedication to help blind orphaned children from around the world. So let's welcome Dr. Wang and give him a round of applause. Now, Dr. Wang, now it's your floor. Thank you.
Thank you, Jianping. Thank you. Thank you, everyone, for coming. I would like to first thank the leaders of AAEA, specifically Dr. Jimmy Wang, and the current president of AAEA, and also Jianping and Linghui Wang, all the leaders in the organization for extending such a wonderful invitation for me to share something that I've been studying and something I've been learning over the last 20-some years: differentiate or die. Today, as Jianping mentioned, there will be 3 sections. The first section is mine. It's about 30 minutes. So we are about 7 or 8:21 right now, Eastern Time. So we'll be finishing about 8:50 Eastern Time. Second section, Jianping and I will have a dialogue interaction talking about some of the concepts. And third section will open to all of you to ask questions specifically focusing on this marketing strategy: differentiate or die. Throughout the process, if you have any question, please feel free to put in the chat room your questions as this presentation is going along. And at the end, Jianping may choose either open your mic or she may read your questions. So don't wait for the end. Just go ahead and input your questions as we go along in the chat room. And also, I want to thank Zach in the back office in terms of keeping everybody informed through the chat room. And thank you, Zach, for continuing copying and pasting my contact information periodically whenever it disappeared from the chat room as such. As you know, all of us, the most important aspect in modern business is outside the house, how to sell. 100 years ago, the number one challenge of all businesses was in the house, how to make a product. Today, the number one challenge to all business today is out of house, how to sell a product. How to make a product is necessary, but it's no longer sufficient to have a successful business. So it is sheerly a supply over demand. There are more people doing the same thing than ever before. At this time, we recognize the true bottleneck to most businesses is external, how to sell. Today, we'll study the classic from New York Times bestseller book by Jack Trout, published 25 years ago, Differentiate or Die. My contact information is on the screen. You can take a picture. And Jianping briefly mentioned the film Sight, which is the first Chinese-American immigrant story in American mainstream media, which I will talk a little bit later. Many of you have seen it. Regarding the film, you can take a picture of the screen, and this is a free link to watch the film. So if you want to take a picture screen, then you can watch it anytime. So now what I like to do is to outline the main ideas presented by Jack Trout. 10 specific questions I hope to answer today. So you can take a picture of these 10 specific questions, and then at the end, we will review to see whether those 10 questions about differentiation has indeed been answered, and we can certainly discuss. Number 1, find people for my stuff or build my stuff to fit existing people. Second question, is differentiation about who I am, or is it differentiation about what people need? Top 2 questions I also be inspired by another New York Times bestseller, Alan Dibb, in his classical work now, Lean Marketing. Number 3, what are differentiations? Jianping, by the way, I presume, Jianping, that is recorded. Please make sure, because I got lots of friends who will want to request a copy today. Thank you. Number 4. So Zach, please make sure helping us record it. Thank you. Number 4. What are not differentiations? Number 5. Is breadth of product lines a differentiation or just simply a dilution? Number 6. Why are price and presentation artistry not differentiations? Number 7. How can I find my differentiation? What are the creative ways to find that? Number 8. What are the benefits of differentiation? Number 9. Why does a differentiation require commitment? Finally, number 10. Why does a differentiation require sacrifice? Differentiate or Die by Jack Trout consists of 4 main ideas. In order to differentiate, one goes through the systematic approach of 4 steps. Market research, identify a differentiation idea, back up by credential, and communication. So let's go through the first one, market research. What do your customers really want? Jack Trout and Alan Dibb, all these marketing experts, is advocating something that many of us fail to do. Often we make a product, then we look for customers. They advocate build the stuff for existing interest of people, rather than build your stuff, then find interested customers. This is a reversal of the typical way we do things. This is a very important key concept. Build your stuff for people, not find people for your stuff. So therefore, it is critically important in terms of market research to find the target market. If you're not clear what is your target market, then you have failed to differentiate. For example, Trader Joe's. Many of you know that Trader Joe's sell very nice product, but not too expensive. Its market differentiation or definition is distinctly different from Costco or Walmart. What do you think is Trader Joe's differentiation of target market? It is this. A college professor who has just lost job. Think about this concept. That is Trader Joe's target market. A college professor who has fine taste, but also at the same time who have just lost job, so couldn't afford too expensive. So think about all the business you know. True Food, Walmart, all these. What is their target population definition? And what is yours? Your company's target market should be defined as clearly, succinctly as Trader Joe's defined its target market, a college professor who has lost jobs. In defining your target market, we need to recognize that doesn't matter, this is by Alan Dibb, doesn't matter what your product is. At the end of the day, human beings need these 7 things. Doesn't matter what you make, you will not exceed these 7 things. Money and wealth, time and convenience, sex and mating, status, fame and approval, safety, peace of mind and basic needs, leisure, entertainment and play, and freedom. Again, doesn't matter what your product is. At the end of the day, you have to be able to offer one or more of these 7 fundamental needs. It's all about finding existing needs, then make the product to fit it, rather than make a product, then look for customers. What do your customers really want? Alan Dibb, in his book, Lean Marketing, said that some people like sports cars, so they build them electrical car, but they're not interested anymore. Why? Because these sports car fans like the sound, the motor, thrusting, big noise. Another example is a hotel trying to differentiate itself and find it cannot. And they find one type of hotel is very successful, not because the hotel they can differentiate very much from next hotel, but because they have gyms. Travelers need gyms. So it's all about what people need, not about what you build. In market research, the key concept is product market fit. So it's not about building your product, then find the market. It's about find the market, then build your product. So I want to give an example that I've been involved for decades in terms of finding the market. We know infection, trauma, and malnutrition cause the corneal blindness. Is one of the world leading causes of blindness, and there has been no effective treatments. So that is the market. Once I find that market, I'm going to try to devise my stuff to fit that market. In this case, a treatment for those folks who lost sight due to corneal blindness, mostly in third world countries, infection, trauma, and malnutrition. Second step, Jack Trout said, differentiation. You have to find your differentiation. What is unique about you? So let me ask you, what do you think is the definition of differentiation? Here it is. By the way, if any of you are interested in this entire PPT, you don't have to make any notes. I'll be happy to email to you. You can email Jianping. AAEA will provide the whole PPT to you, or in the chat room, Zach has put my email address there right now. You can email me. I will send the entire PPT to you. I'm all about sharing. So definition of differentiation is this, by Jack Trout. A marketing message is differentiated if you can survive this test. That is, when your business name is substituted by that of another, the message still works. For example, Dr. Ronaldo Ambrizio is a Brazilian ophthalmologist, world-class ophthalmologist. In our line of what we do as ophthalmologists, if I'm going to send a marketing message saying, we do LASIK surgery to enable you to be free of dependence on glasses and contact lenses, is that message differentiated? No. Because if I say Wang Vision give you the freedom of dependence on glasses and contacts, the Wang Vision you can replace by Smith Vision, that line of message give you the freedom from dependence on glasses and contact lenses, still works. So examine your marketing message and substitute the name of your business with the name of another business. If that marketing message still works, then your message is not differentiated. Then broadcasting that message is complete waste of time because it has nothing to do with you. Then you say, okay, that's going to make me rethink about my business right now. What are the benefits? Differentiation gives sustainability, especially in economic recession. A differentiated business cannot be replicated because it has everything to do with your intrinsic attributes of within your business. A differentiated business stands out among many choices of consumers have today. That's the main problem. Supply way over demand. There's more people than ever than before doing the same thing. So number one challenge of business yesterday, 100 years ago, was how to make a product when demand it was way over supply. Today it's the other way. Supply is way over demand. So number one challenge is not how to make a product, but number one challenge for most of business today is how to sell a product. So differentiated business stands out. Differentiation motivates employee. Your employee will be excited, motivated, if they know they'll offer one kind of unique kind of service to people. Differentiated business lasts longer because it's just literally harder to be replicated. Let's examine what are not differentiated ideas. Things what you should not be doing. Quality and customer satisfaction is not necessarily a differentiated idea because it is necessary. Because if you cannot offer quality and customer satisfactions, you are not even qualified to be in this line of business. Get out of here. But it's not differentiation. It's not going to be sufficient. Because quality and customer satisfaction is supposed to be there already. Is creativity of an advertisement differentiating idea? No. Because your competitor can be more creative. I see this all the time. Business put up ads, red color, green color, or weird for differentiate. We have a beautiful ads, beautiful logo. It's not differentiate idea at all because your competitor can create a more beautiful, more artistic ads. Is price a differentiation? No. Because you lower the price, you say you're the cheapest, your competitor can be cheaper. Is the breadth of product line a differentiated idea? No. It's very tempting. As business owners, we want to add more product line. We can do this and we can do that as well, without realizing that adding more product line is actually diluting your differentiation, weakening. So these are not differentiated ideas. So what is differentiated idea? What is it? What are differentiated ideas? Here's the list. Being the first is a differentiated idea. McDonald's was the first large-scale sold hamburger. Burger King is the first large burger that made on the spot rather than McDonald's. So when Burger King saw how successful McDonald's was, Burger King wanted to replicate. They saw McDonald's made a kids burger and the little slides for kids in the backyard. So Burger King replicated and got nowhere. Failed miserably. Why? The lesson is only the first is a differentiation, not the second. The first kid burger for kids is already occupied, that differentiation, by McDonald's. So you cannot be second and still differentiated. So rather than duplicate kids burger, what Burger King should do is perhaps make an adult burger. For example, have New York Times, little adult the libraries in its outfit. That is the first adult burger. Attribute ownership is a differentiation. Xerox as a company, very smart. When they invented machine, they did not call copy machine, they called it Xerox. Today, it's synonymous to photocopy. So they literally own their attributes. That's the ultimate differentiation. Third, being a leader in the field, having the latest thing is a differentiation. For example, in our line of business, One Vision Institute was the first in our state to have the new type of LASIK called small incision LASIK SMILE, and that is a differentiation. So being the first is a differentiation. Heritage is a differentiation. You often see companies says, this company has been founded since blah, blah, blah. For me, my differentiation is I'm a Chinese American. I have a heritage in East. I live in the West. For example, I perform China's first all laser LASIK. That's a differentiation. Heritage. Being a specialist is a differentiation. In ophthalmology, I published 10 textbooks trying to help surgeons from around the world to improve their weak area, which is technology, because I've got good luck of obtaining 2 doctorate degrees, one in medicine, one in laser physics. So that's my differentiation. I'm an eye doctor with a technological band. And these are the books translated in Mandarin Chinese. Preference by some influential people is a differentiation. We all know that. For me, is, these stars, Dolly Parton and others. They have chosen us. That's a differentiation. Now, we talk about what is the definition of differentiation. That means when your business name is substituted by the name of your competitor, your marketing message is no longer working. That message is differentiated message. We talk about what are not differentiations, what are differentiations. We talk about what's the benefit of differentiation. Now we're going to talk about differentiation requires commitment. Many of you know, in the early 1980s, watching the explosive success of Pepsi, Coca-Cola decided, you know what? Pepsi said, oh, it's the young generation, soft drink. We're going to replicate Pepsi's recent success. So they put on the shelf new Coke. Failed miserably. Why? They took off the shelf right away. So why we fail? Why Pepsi-Cola emphasizing new soft drink can be successful when Coca-Cola emphasizing new soft drinks failed? Why? That is because Coca-Cola forgot its differentiation commitment. Because Coca-Cola is the first major soft drink. You cannot be the first and the new at the same time. Coca-Cola accidentally violated its own differentiation, forgot its commitment to its differentiation. So you know what Coca-Cola did? They removed the new Coke and put Coke back. But that still did not work. Did not bring the market back. Then they thought, why? They realized when your tree is bent on one side, you have to bend the tree to the other side. Just bend the tree to the middle is not sufficient. So you know what they put back? They removed the new Coke, not just putting the Coke back, they actually put back classic Coke. To emphasizing the fact that we remember our differentiation, we are the first major soft drink. We're about classic. For example, for our practice, we have a technology, refractive lens exchange, for presbyopia, for reading glasses need. Now we can get rid of your reading glasses now, and we do laser cataract surgery. When we define that, we are committed to it. For example, cataract surgery in America, only about 5% are performed with laser. Only 5%. But because that's our differentiation using laser, we committed 100%. We're leading the United States now in the percentage of our cataract surgery performed with laser at 100%. Because differentiation require commitment, 100% commitment. As I said, for Young lenses, only 1% US surgeon perform it. We perform all the time. In cataract surgery, only 5% using laser, but we use 100%. It's a commitment, whatever it takes, the cost, whatever, the best technology. Differentiation requires creativity. You may think, you know what? I'm not the biggest company. I'm a small company. We're a new company. I don't know how to differentiate. What is about me that is unique? Well, you can be creative. Not only end product quality and characteristics can be a differentiation, but also creatively, how the product itself is made, is the ingredient, history, cell amount, duration, technology, classification, being a specialist, all other non-end product characteristics can be differentiated. When Colgate came up with toothpaste, they could not find differentiation. Well, whitening, well, somebody took that differentiation already. Anti-cavity, well, another toothpaste took that differentiation away. So they faced with no differentiation regarding end product. You know what they came up with? They came up with fluoride. Well, it's an ingredient. It's the process of making the product. It's not the end product characteristics. But it's differentiated. It sounds sophisticated. It's unique. Nobody differentiates their toothpaste by this fluoride compound name. Sounds scientific, sophisticated. You see how creative they are. So you don't have to be stuck at the end product. Any other attributes can be creatively used as differentiation. If your company is small, you don't have the biggest sale last year, but what if you have the biggest sale last quarter? If you don't have the biggest sale last quarter, how about fastest growth from quarter to quarter? Right? Think about it. Your ship may be small, but the percentage of growth increment could be big. So be creative. Differentiation requires focus. We all know the story of Steve Jobs. He founded with Steve Wozniak Apple Computer in the late 1970s, early 1980s. By 1995, he was kicked out of his own company, Apple. But Apple then was failing, so they brought Steve back 10 years later, 1995. And he made a worldwide most valuable company, over $4 trillion today. Steve Jobs was interviewed by a business magazine and asked, what is your secret? How did you rescue Apple Computer when you came back in 1995? Steve said, well, every day I have people present to me different proposals. Apple should be doing this project. Apple should be doing that product. And the reporter said, of course, I mean, you're the head of the CEO of a computer company after all. Of course, they're going to present to you what project we should be taking on as Apple. But Steve said, but my reason of looking at these different proposals is not what you think. I examine one proposal, another proposal every day. Is not to decide if we as Apple should make that product. Is to decide we as Apple why we should not make that product. He said, I spent lots of time to figure out why I should not do this, why I should not do that. So Steve Jobs rescued Apple from 1995 onwards because he cut off over 200 product lines of Apple and only retained only few. iPod, iPhone, iPad. That's it. Differentiation requires focus. So coming back, in my case, I know my market, which is corneal injury, trauma, malnutrition caused blindness. So my differentiation is trying to figure out a solution can treat this untreatable problem due to trauma infection, one leading cause of blindness. In the film Sight, you see that blind orphan child arrived with this cornea totally scarred. So I need to develop my differentiation, a solution. And I realized that an unborn child does not scar, but how can I do research on unborn child without hurting a baby? They say faith and science, moral ethical principles have no common ground. Is that really true? If up to the atheist scientists, they will do the research like that, fetal research, but Christians they will not. Is that true? They don't have common ground. I even built a common ground network to study how to find the common ground, even common ground seeking methodologies, publish a book on common ground Bible studies, and working with researchers at Baskin Palmer Eye Institute, my professor Schaefer Sen, and as a leader and others, we decided to test on the amniotic membrane. Because amniotic membrane surrounds an unborn child, maybe that's what gives a child ability to heal without scar, but we can take that piece of tissue because placenta is always discarded. I started doing research as a fellow at Baskin Palmer Eye Institute. Long story short, eventually developed the amniotic membrane contact lens. Then I decided to donate the technology to the world. I put my patent online and went around the world over a 20-year period to about 50-some countries and pro bono taught over 10,000 eye doctors throughout the world how to use the technology. Today, amniotic membrane contact lens is used by eye doctors from nearly every nation, and millions of patients have been helped, and it's a $5 billion annual industry, amniotic membrane. Even I did not make any money myself because I donated my patent, but I'm happy to see a technology that has transformed the world. And also, as an immigrant, I'm very grateful for the opportunity that was given to me, and it's my little way to pay back. So that's the solution. That's my differentiation. For example, dry eye is a very big problem today. As we get older, eyes get drier. This patient was treated with amniotic membrane, and she is much happier. So amniotic membrane is remarkable technology talked about in this film site, but also shows science and faith do have common ground. So now we talk about 2 of the 4 parts of Jack Trout system, market research differentiation. Number 3 is credential. You have to be backed up by credential. As an example for my credential is when I have market research, corneal blindness, differentiation, amniotic membrane is my differentiated product. My credential is, of course, I grew up in China during Cultural Revolution. I have to learn Chinese erhu dancing, trying to get into government song dance troupe. 1976 Cultural Revolution ended. I was able to come to America and went to University of Science and Technology. 1982 came to America, was racially discriminated against, but I fought against that. And went to Harvard, MIT, 1991, graduated with 2 doctorate degrees, one at University of Maryland, PhD in laser physics, one is Harvard, MIT, MD program. Have done 55,000 procedures, including over 4,000 doctors. And this is my Harvard, MIT graduation diploma. So our institute in Nashville, Tennessee, I published a paper in the journal Nature, and FDA, US FDA ophthalmic panel, first Chinese American to serve in that post. And these are my differentiation. We're training doctors. We have technology can treat all 5 human conditions: nearsightedness, farsightedness, astigmatism, presbyopia, and cataract. And you can take a picture of this if you have questions later. We have these 4 technologies can treat all 5 human eye conditions: nearsighted, farsighted, astigmatism, presbyopia, the reading difficulty, and laser cataract. While patients from all over the United States and all over the world from 55 countries. And we have a foundation to help blind orphan children, which is the film site. And the dancing I learned during Cultural Revolution became a hobby to enhance our medical charity fundraising. And erhu I learned during Cultural Revolution to escape labor camp has also become a hobby to showcase what Chinese culture has to offer to America and the West. I was fortunate to receive the Nashvillian of the Year award. First time the Southern City, Nashville, has given this award annually to a Chinese, only one person a year. So last part is communication. As a business owner, you said that I don't want to talk about, I don't want to communicate. Then you should not be in the business today, in year 2025. Not only you have to do market research, not only you have to differentiate, not only you have to have credential, you have to communicate. For example, communication in the marketing world has the custom relationship management system. Communicate. Jack Trout said, do not sell, educate, tell a story. That is why, based on my autobiography, I made the film, Sight. I want to tell a story so that I can market our foundation. So I'm going to show you a little trailer. You can turn up your computer, 2-minute trailer. We'll almost come to the end of my presentation. This is the trailer of the movie Sight, won the ICVM International Christian Award. Here we go. Now it's on anju.com/sight.
I'm going to help you see again.
You said it was impossible.
Ah, there he is, the good doctor.
You're going to be on the cover of the Tennessee Herald tomorrow morning. You may get a date out of this.
Not with that picture.
Very funny.
Our pro bono office got a call from India. A little girl, 6 years old.
Apparently, street beggars make more money if they're legitimately blind. So the stepmother poured sulfuric acid in each of her eyes.
I'm going to help you see again, Kajan.
Is it true that multiple doctors declared your patient irreversibly blind?
Yes, I developed this new breakthrough technology. Here we go. Do you see the light?
No. I can't see anything.
I have this patient from India. She reminds me of some things in the past that I can't get over.
The present is made possible by the past.
A long time ago back in China, there was an uprising in my hometown. Many bad things happened.
So we came to America.
Yes.
It's hard getting into medical school, but you coming from China, don't waste your time.
You cannot change the past, Ming. I feel like I'm stuck.
Hello, doctor. This is Maria.
We want to give her a chance to see again.
I don't even know if I can perform surgery anymore. I left you.
Stop it. You need to just let go.
I just don't want Maria to end up like Kajal.
Can only do our best.
I'm with you, Ming. We can do this.
I refuse to believe there is no purpose.
I will be praying for you.
Kajal is teaching me that there's more to life than what you see. We have to keep going.
Thought you said it was impossible.
Can you see yourself, Maria?
I'm so pretty.
Rather than sell to our foundation, I want to tell a story. But also you have to communicate. The film was actually rejected by all the major distributors. They refused to distribute. So I have to find a way to communicate. I took the film around the United States in 365 days, traveled to 40 states, 500 free film shows to 50,000 people to inspire Chinese Americans to stand up, tell our stories. And it's also Jesus' story for me as a Christian because it shows science and faith can work together. If I'm not ready to communicate, I should not bother to differentiate. So eventually, Andrew Studio took on the film February 2024. They distributed the film, did a wonderful job. Film site is for our next generation. And finally, I want to tell you, February 19th, I have another Zoom called 事半功倍 Zoom. You can take a picture of this and about 77 Pearls. The Robbie Grayson, who is on the Zoom today, he's the publisher of this book, 77 Pearls, How to Do Things More Efficiently. So you're welcome to, if you're interested in the book, email me, and I'll be happy to mail a book to you as a little gift. In the chat room, Zach put my contact information there right now. So in summary, today, together with you, we have studied the classic in marketing, methodology, differentiate or die by Jack Trout. A book that was published in 2025 years ago that has had significant impact in our thinking, in business to address the single most important task in all business today. That is no longer the making of a product is our bottleneck, it's the selling of the product. The number one challenge in business is no longer in-house, how to make a product. The number one challenge to business is out of house, how to sell a product. Because 100 years ago, demand was way over supply. Today, supply is way over demand. There are more people than ever offering a similar type of product. So knowing how to make a product is necessary, but not sufficient to have a successful business. The sufficient condition is you have to know how to do marketing. If you are a chemist, you have spent decades to study chemistry. In an equally important task as marketing, have you been spending decades to study marketing? That is the problem. Every business CEO, the two core competencies are two: how to make a product and how to sell a product. Most of us, myself included, are strong in the first. We spend decades to study, for me, eye surgery, all these things, but I hardly systematically study the second equally important task, which is how to sell a product. All of us need lots of makeup lessons. All of us need to really concentrate on something that is just as important in making the product, how to sell a product. How to do marketing is just as sophisticated, disciplined as your primary profession itself. There are methodologies, there are technologies, how to do marketing. It's just, if you have spent decades how to study how to make a chemical, you have to spend equal time how to do the second equally important task, that is how to sell a product. But all of us are weak in the second. That's why this Zoom and the new branding marketing series that begun by AAEA is critically important to fill a weak link that most of us as head of the businesses are lacking and desperately need. There will be more Zoom coming up, specific study methodology specifically, in this Zoom series, Marketing and Branding. So Jack Trout today talked about four things. Market research. What's the message there? Find the existing interests of people and then make the product to fit it, rather than build your product and then look for customers. Second, differentiation. What's the test of differentiation? Whether a message from your company is differentiated message or not, by simple test. If you substitute the name of a company by the name of a competing company, does that marketing message still works? If it still works, then you are wasting your time. You are marketing an undifferentiated message. Undifferentiated marketing is a waste of time. We talk about benefit of differentiation. We talk about what are differentiated ideas. We talk about what are not differentiated ideas. We talk about that differentiation requires focus, differentiation requires commitment, and differentiation requires sacrifice. We talk about not only differentiation, you have to have credentials to back it up. And finally, differentiation can never be over-communicated. If you are shy, you say, I'll run the business, Dr. Wang, but I'm shy to speaking out, tell story, educate and all that. Jack Trout that don't sell, but tell a story, but educate. You say, I'm shy, I don't want to do that. My answer is very simple. Get out of here. You're not qualified to lead a business in the 21st century if you're shy of communication. So as I said, this is the first of AAEA Branding Marketing Forum. We're going to systematically study the single most important area. Finally, I'm going to do a little quiz. If everybody pull up a little piece of paper, you can imagine you're doing that. You don't have to actually do it. God going to grant you one wish for this year, 2025, to make your business successful. You can only one wish. So fill that little piece of paper asking God one thing. Only one thing. He's not going to grant you two wishes. I'll give you 5 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. I bet majority of entrepreneurs, which is AAEA is about, what you put on that piece of paper is not internal management. It's not financial management. It's not your expertise because you know your product. Most of us, if we have a chance to ask one wish that God will grant us to make our business successful this year, will be this. God, can you bring more customers to me this year? That is the importance of what AAEA is doing. AAEA is an organization that we spend time and effort to figure out what do the members actually really need and the type of education information they're not going to get anywhere else. And that is the differentiation of AAEA. Information you really need, but at the same time, you're not going to get from anywhere else. That is AAEA's differentiation. Anybody who wants this film, you can take a picture. It's a free link. It's free. You're welcome to come to help us sell our foundation as such so we can help more people. Thank you.
Wow, what a presentation. Let's give a big round of applause to Dr. Wang.
Thank you.
Who is a intelligent, pioneering, passionate, compassionate, powerful, influential, generous human being. I really appreciate your presentation today. Thank you, thank you. Dr. Wang, I really thank you for those incredible, thought-provoking insights. Your life journey and the business strategies perfectly illustrate the power of differentiation. So now let's explore these ideas further through discussions. I have a question to ask. You did mention the AAEA, but at the same time, we also welcome audience participants. So please continue to posting your thought in the chat and your questions, of course. If you need advice specifically to your business, feel free to do so. So here comes my question related to AAEA. So because just now, Dr. Wang just reviewed the Jack Trout's differential or die, emphasize the market research, differentiation, credentials, and communications. So thank you again for you sharing your personal journey. And now I just have a question. That's your journey or your differentiation approaches set you yourself apart from others. So given the AAEA is a new established organization still in development stage, so what advice would you offer to its leaders on building a strong and distinctive brand? Before I ask you to ask the questions, please allow me to introduce to you and all the audience about AAEA. AAEA is a 501c3 nonprofit organization that bridges innovators, entrepreneurs, investors, artists, and educators to create value to our members. AAEA aims to develop a large and professional network of Asian American entrepreneurs and provide resources across the country, fostering industry and economic growth. We incubate and support Asian American startups and young entrepreneurs in their specialty field. AAEA connects projects and investment, bridging entrepreneurs with funding resources at various stages. We offer mentoring, training, and support to AAEA members, helping their projects succeed from start to finish. AAEA promotes the entrepreneurial and the leadership spirit among young Asian American generations, fostering recognition and integration of both US and their ancestral cultures. So AAEA connects entrepreneurs with funding resources to support their project development. So I got the information that is on our website. It's pretty ambitious, like missions. So I need Dr. Wang, your expertise, advice, how to make AAEA differentiate from fellow organizations, and how to, you just said, we need customers. How can we recruit more members? So here's the question.
Great question. To answer the question, let's immediately apply Jack Trout's system. So let's look at the summary. Jack Trout said 4 steps: market research, differentiation, credential, and communication. So let's go for each of these 4 to see how they apply to AAEA. First, market research. There are many chamber of commerces, either within the specialty or profession or across specialties, but in a geographic location. So Jack Trout and Alan Dibb and all these modern marketing experts emphasizes that it's not about finding people for your stuff, but it's about finding interest and then make your stuff. It's not about having a stuff, then looking for customers. It's finding what the customer's existing interest, then make a product that fit that. So along that line, the AAEA, as I see it, under the leadership of Ming Wang, is to recognize a unique need in the marketplace. That is, Asian American, lots of startup companies, they have the need to be mentored by more successful, seasoned business people. And AAEA looking, these young up-and-coming are looking for help, especially within Asian Americans, because many of them are minorities and many are immigrants, and we do not have the resources as many homegrown folks. So AAEA have done the market research under Ming Wang's leadership and identify very specific need existing. Did not create a need. The need was there. Asian American startups, people need mentorship, resources, funding, various different things. Okay. Then AAEA was made to fit that existing need rather than an organization created and then looking for its market. Second, differentiation. At the end of the day, it's that Jack Trout said, it's the marketing message. The message has to be differentiated. So let's think about what is the differentiated message for AAEA. Let's say AAEA is a Asian American business organization. Then is that differentiated? Well, another organization can be Asian American as well. Okay, it's a differentiation from other races, ethnicities, all right? So that's not enough. Okay, let's go back to the drawing board, redefine the differentiated message again for AAEA. So AAEA is a business organization, Asian Americans, that focused on, meets the startup companies within Asian Americans. Is that enough? Okay, that's narrower. People is harder to replicate. But I think AAEA can go even further. AAEA can define its differentiation by saying AAEA is a business association that is Asian American, that is also helping startup companies, but also it's not just a social club. Because most of business organization and chamber of commerce, they meet and having fun at social club, have a beer and drink and making some fun. That's fine. But AAEA say it's not just a social club, but also it does solid work to actually figure out what member needs and do the hard work to meet that need, such as member needs marketing, methodology help. AAEA wants to host such a unique Zoom to specifically help business owners in the area that they need the most, but they cannot get in most of other chamber of commerces. So in summary, applying Jack Trout's criteria, I'm going to suggest to the AAEA leadership something like this. You can change the language if you want. AAEA is an organization that is meet the need of Asian American young entrepreneurs and provide not only a platform of networking, but most importantly, is offer a dimension of knowledge that all entrepreneur needs, but could not get anywhere else. That is the differentiation. It's almost non-replicable, as attested by today's Zoom. Most of the Chamber of Commerce's business would not spend time and effort to figure out marketing is actually what the member needs the most. And not only that, actually spend the time and homework to study it and actually share. That's lots of time. I've been studying the differentiator by Jack Trout for 25 years. Today you heard in 40 minutes what I've learned in 25 years. I'm a member of the AAEA and I'm part of the mission. Credential, third, has to be real, has to be substantial, and has to be material, has to be relevant to the mission that differentiate the mission of AAEA. Well, as I see it, AAEA was founded by Ming Wang, who has an amazing company with 200 some people, very successful chemical company in its innovation, research, and product development and market share. AAEA also has on its board, like half dozen board members in the leaders in their business respective field, but also about 20 some committee members who are leaders in their respective fields. So that is the credential that itself back up that AAEA has the validity to speak about what innovator need, entrepreneur need, because all of AAEA leaders have gone through that themselves. Lastly, communication. AAEA specifically has organized very successful annual meetings, aggregating Asian American business leaders from around the United States. I was very privileged to be invited to deliver a keynote speech June of 2024. And the meeting was attended by 300 or 400 people from around the United States, all the way from California to Iowa to northern part of the country, southern part of the country, Florida, everywhere. So that's an example of communication. Jack Trout said, don't sell, but tell a story and educate. AAEA using that forum to educate all its members. So in conclusion, I think AAEA actually is a very good example of implementing Jack Trout system, have done a very good job, but also have room to improvement. In market research, my suggestion for improvement is looking out for the members to specifically ask them. Many of them are shy of admitting that they need to sell. Lots of people say, I'm good enough, I don't need to sell. But in today's business, more people than ever doing the same thing. So you have to learn how to sell. So things like that. What are the actual AAEA members' topics that they need and they cannot get anywhere else? Because that's the definition of differentiation, right? AAEA. Second differentiation suggestion I have is exactly what I said a moment ago. that little stream of definition. AAEA is a Asian American business organization that offer what members what they truly need but cannot get anywhere else. Credential, AAEA has already building credential with Ming Wang as a leader and all the business leaders within the board and committees. And finally, communication, AAEA will continue to do not just annual meeting, but also periodic Zooms throughout the year to do the real background work necessary to get the knowledge and then share, such as this, that everybody needs to know that they need to learn marketing methodology, but lots of people are shy of asking because they don't want to admit they need to sell. They think if I'm good enough, I don't need to sell. Let's get out of that old concept. In today's business, if you don't communicate, you'll never be able to sell.
Thank you, Dr. Wang, for your thoughtful and profound response drawn from 25 years of differentiation, experience, and wisdom. Thank you for promoting AAEA because yourself is a member. I know we have a lot of audience who are not a member yet, but just go visit our website and or join more like a forum will provide in the future. So get a better understanding of AAEA, become part of it, so we grow together. We, just help each other become more successful than we can be. So at the same time, I just invite, we move to our third session. That is, let me see, we have a lot of questions. So I just gave the opportunity for people, you can unmute yourself and ask questions. If there's too many questions, maybe I will just stop and then I will just pick up some like audience to ask questions. But right now, I want you to be the first to ask questions. Be brave, be adventurous. And so now I just open. Yeah.
I have a question.
Yes.
Sure.
Or statement.
Introduce
Okay.
yourself first and then go ahead and ask questions.
Your name, and where are you from? Name and where you're from, and question.
My name is Li Yan Zhang. I'm the founder of USTC Washington Fund. I have grown the organization to about 500 pupils with over 100,000 of funds for normal operation. Okay, I speak on behalf of that achievement, and I realized that we Chinese have a serious problem. The problem is that we are too tight on our purses. We keep money too close to our chest, which really hurt us. Okay, so look at the Christians. Their religion is from Jewish. They require 10% contribution originally. Okay, co-family to the church. Today, of course, as time goes on, they don't do that. That's not that much, but still a few percent, 1%. Okay, 0.5%. Okay. And I'll give you an example here, a nearby church of 100 Chinese people who are churchgoers, okay, religious. They each year contribute about $3,300 to support that church with an annual budget of $330,000, which support the pastors, all the expenses. But average Chinese, which is the AAEA is trying to serve, we don't contribute that much. That's a fact, and I'm a Chinese, and I'm one of them. And let's admit that, and that is a serious problem. Is because we don't contribute enough to the society's running, and I myself can testify that we can contribute more without affecting our life, but we don't do that. Okay. We don't do that across board. That's the problem. Okay. We don't support our politicians local. We don't support enough. We don't donate to causes, not enough. Okay. So that's why our image the Chinese, the influence is not there. Okay, so I think it's a serious problem. We need to change that. Okay, so most of us come from the mainland, and we come from a very poor background. I mean, Dr. Wang and I, we all came here. It's like $50, $100 in the pocket as a joke, which is true. Okay, but that kind of limited our vision. Okay, that's very bad. So we need more donations. Okay, to summarize. Second is we should be willing to more help other Asians. Okay, meaning the Asians immediately beside us. We're not willing to do so. And one major reason is that if we help others, others won't acknowledge. That's a problem. Okay, so we should willing to help others. We also should acknowledge anybody that helped us. Okay, that way, so that we can help each other more, which is also AAEA is trying to champion for. Okay, so that's my contribution. 2 points. We should make more donations. We should help each other more and acknowledge help immediately. Jianping, I'm done.
Okay, thank you. I really appreciate your insight. Actually, AAEA is not just a social networking platform. Well, we should be the driving force to bring people together, to help each other, to, just like you mentioned, don't hold tight to yourself. We should, do more donations, to do more community outreach and help each other. Thank you so much, Mr. Zhang.
I agree. Totally agree. Next question.
Next, anybody? Communication is very important. Take advantage.
May I have a question?
Yeah,
Yes.
sure.
Yeah. Hi, Dr. Ming Wang. I'm Ling Mao and Jianping, right? Yeah, I'm Ling Mao. Actually, I'm from the Houston, Texas. I also is audience from the Dr. Ming Wang, a lot of the speech and according his the journey for a long time. So I'm very interested for first of all, thank you, Dr. Ming Wang. It's very excellent presentation speech. Have a very powerful, have a very good knowledge. I really appreciate. And I have a question. So regarding to the marketing research, how do we identify the definition and the marketing segmentation and the niche market? Thank you very much. And I really appreciate if I can get this presentation to email to me.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Linda. If anyone interested in the Zach has put my information in the chat room right now, which contain my email address. Just email me, and I'm all about sharing. I will send you entire PPT, so you don't have to make any notes. As well as any future, I'm continue studying marketing is the single most important topic for my business right now. I'm studying. That's why I want to deliver this talk, because that's literally what I'm studying. And I'll be happy to share with you future things I learned in marketing as well. So we may do more. AAEA sponsor, if I do a good job today, Jianping, Jamie, Lin Hui might invite me back, and I will share more. I'm studying the next book right now, as I alluded to, Alan Dibbs, called Lean Marketing right now. I just finished that book, so I'll be happy to do another one just for that book, etc. So email me with your email address. I'll be happy to send the whole PPT to you, as well as if you want to put your mailing address in the email, and I'll be happy to mail you 事半功倍, the little booklet.
Yeah, I know.
As
Thank
well.
you very much.
It's a little present, yeah. And speak of 事半功倍, I just want to tell you that next one's February 19th, next week, 7:30 p.m. CT, and take a picture of this, and you can email me with your mailing address. I will mail you the book. And the publisher of this very book is on the Zoom today, Mr. Robbie Grayson, and he published the book. This is what Robbie wrote on the right side, what this book means. Basically, it's a way to make your work, your time a lot more efficient in doing things. Accomplish double in half the time. 事半功倍. Now, regarding your question regarding market recognition is extremely important, and it's very difficult because we talk about that, right? Based on Jack Trout and Alan Dibb, it's about searching the need first. It's not building your product, but first step is figure out what the market needs, and that is no small task at all. That you have to really look at what the market actually needs. So don't worry about your product. Worry about what the market needs first. And so do the market research in the market need department. Here are the key takeaways from Jack Trout. Market research. First, really figure out at the end of the day as an entrepreneur, it's not about building your stuff, then find customer. In the very design of your stuff, your product, you have to figure out what people need and then build your stuff. So not the other way around. Target market selection is extremely important. It has to be clear. There's sacrifice, there's a commitment, there's focus, as we talk about. I'll give you the Trader Joe's. Trader Joe's has got very good product, not too expensive, but it's better product than Walmart. A little bit more expensive than Walmart. So Trader Joe's defines market first. What is that? A college professor who lost job. A college professor who has just lost job. So really think carefully, what is your market segmentation and positioning? I fortunately was a student of the Physician CEO program, an accelerated, almost a miniature MBA type program in Kellogg School of Business in Chicago several years ago. Dr. Ronaldo Ambricio, who's from Brazil on this Zoom today, he's another graduate from the same program, and we learned some of the basic business knowledges, and that's market segmentation. Now, it doesn't matter what you do. At the end of the day, your product is going to fit one of the 7 key needs of human being. This is by Alan Dibb in his book, Lean Marketing. Either about money, wealth, or about time, convenience, or it's about sex and mating, or about status, fame, approval, or safety, peace, mind, basic needs, or leisure, entertainment, or freedom. So Uber. Well, Uber offer number 2, convenience. Okay, so for example, safety, peace of mind, basic needs. For example, the GPS. So whatever the product is, it's going to fit the 7 needs. So ask yourself, what is your product? Which of the 7 categories? And then focus on that. Within that category, a subpopulation. You have to really understand what your customer needs, because it's not what it appears to be. It is not what it appears to be. People used to think, you know what, for car lovers, sports car lovers, sell them electrical cars. But it's got nowhere. They don't like it. They don't understand. A car lover, you must like car. I make an electrical car for you. How come you don't like it? Without realizing what they really need, it's not the car, but it's the sense of being powerful. So they like that big mechanical rumming sound. Electrical car so quiet, you're not providing what they really want. Another example is hotel. And eventually example is one hotel found to be very successful because at the end, it's not the hotel that travelers need, because most hotels are very similar, but it's that nice gym that's make that hotel attractive. So what people need is not what it appears to be often. You really have to do the research, what they really want. So at the end of the day, it's about product market fit. Next question.
Thank you, Dr. Wang.
Thank you. Any other questions? And if they are not speaking out, the Jianping, you can pick any of the chat room questions or.
Yes, I'm going to do that.
I have a question.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, so I have 3 degrees, one in computer science, one in mathematics, and one in film, cinema arts. So I realize I work with Fortune 500 corporations for the last 15 years, but I'm not making a lot of money. So, but I spent 10 years to study how to trade Forex, which is a currency. And I have learned and acquired skills to make 50% of my investment. How can I teach a course to my fellow friends of this skill to make money? Everybody needs to make money. So, if you can make 50% of your investment over a year, you're beating the Wall Street of S&P 500. So I think the needs is there. So how should I promote my course?
Great question. I'm going to again use Jack Trout system. Market research, differentiation, backed up by real credentials, and communication. Market research. So you're in the market about making money. People have investment, and it's all about return on investment. So the first thing, according to Jack Trout, I'm just a little Jack Trout teacher tonight, right? These are not my original idea. These are Jack Trout's. I'm just a little Jack Trout trainer, so to speak, tonight.
Yeah.
So what Jack Trout is saying is look at the space, which is a vast space of people who wants to get more return to their money. Ask yourself, what is the existing need that is not met? So, for example, you can say, I've got a vehicle that can make money, but that is not most important. What your product is not the first thing. It's what market pre-existing interest is the first thing. It's about finding the existing interest and make a product to fit it. So if I were you, I would just ask myself, in the space people wants to invest, make money, what is it that is a special need? Okay, maybe it's a type of need that short-term, quick return, right? Because in the investment world, there are people who are looking for slow growth, long return, longer time, right? So maybe if I were you, I may narrow to that. I say, okay, people wants to get lots of money return, higher risk, short term, and higher return, for example. So that's a very already smaller segment, okay? And then sounds like it's some kind of currency, right? So maybe there are people who are comfortable with currencies. For example, I'm not. I'm not. I don't have any money in the currency or Bitcoin, whatever, because I'm just not didn't have the time to study. I don't want to do something that I do not study. So I end up having no money invested. So I will not be in that market right now, the segmented market for your product, right? But looking for people who have history of investing in currencies already, because that's the people. So looking for short-term, fast return, short-term, high risk, and people who are used to play around with currencies. So that's the market research. Differentiation. Well, in that space, why you? Differentiation is all about why me, why us, why my product. Okay? So what is it that you can offer that nobody else can have? So what happened is that you have to define your differentiated message. One line. And let's say your company is XYZ. You say XYZ offer blah, 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 blah. That's our marketing message. I'm going to replace XYZ, your business name, with another name. And I'm going to ask, does that marketing message still work? If it doesn't work, forget it. Okay? So your marketing message has to work even if someone replace your business name with a competitor's name. So for me, One Vision Institute help people get rid of glasses. That's not a differentiated market message. If I market that message, it's a complete waste of my time and resources. So what kind of message is differentiated for One Vision? Will be something like this. If you want to have eye surgery and you want a physicist to do your eye surgery, that's differentiated. Because very few MDs, surgeons, who actually have a PhD in laser physics. See that? So, second is differentiation. Has to survive this test on the screen. Definition of differentiation. When your business name is replaced by another business name, the marketing message still works. If it doesn't work, forget it. Now, third step is credential. You have to look hard at yourself, what you have done. In that case, I look at what myself, when I offer the differentiation, which is the amniotic membrane, do I have the credential back it up? Maybe my credential was in the playing violin in the past. So that's not a credential to back up eye surgery or eye invention, right? So it has to be material. Finally, the weakest link of all entrepreneurs today, the weakest point is communication. What Jack Charles says that if you're not ready to speak up, if you don't want to talk, you don't want to go to meetings, attend Zooms like this, if you don't want to join AAEA, organization like AAEA, to socialize, to learn, to exchange, to learn from each other, and to speak up about your product, to help others so others can help you, don't be an entrepreneur in 21st century. Because if you're not ready to, in other words, the other day I met a guy who said, you know what, Dr. Wang, I want to be an entrepreneur, but I'm just kind of shy. I kind of, 不好意思, I don't want to talk about myself. I kind of want to stay quiet when I go to someplace. Communication, I just got a little problem of communication. You know my answer? My answer is very simple. Get out of here. You're not qualified to be 21st century entrepreneur. The core competence of a business CEO, entrepreneur, in year 2025 is no longer just one dimension, making the product. In the supply over demand today, when more people than ever before offering the same type of service today, any CEO has to master two parallel core competences. One is internal, how to make a product, but that's necessary, not sufficient condition to be successful. The second one is a sufficient condition. You have to be a good marketer. If I spend 30 years to study ophthalmology, eye surgery, I ask myself, have I spent 30 years to study the second equally important core competence, communication, marketing? I have not. That is why I studied Jack Trout for 25 years. That is why I study Alan Dibb, lean marketing right now. Because I realize it's my weak area. So communication cannot be over-communicated. Jack Trout said, don't sell, educate, and tell a story. That is why I made the film Sight. Tell a story. Next question.
Thank you, Dr. Wang.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Wang. Before we take the next questions, I really want to read a comment from SB MIT. It said, I think this marketing methodology presentation is the first ever presentation in any association that differentiates our AAEA. So I really appreciate the comments.
That's good.
Yeah.
Wow. That's exactly.
Yeah,
So, Jinping, you, Lin Hui, Jamie, everybody, you have communicated. You have successfully communicated because the best way to assess the result of communication is the feedback, right? They
exactly.
literally spoke about exact differentiation. People need the most, but cannot get anywhere else.
Yeah, and also I think this is quite inspiring. And you did mention that you got a book. You want to, share your reading notes once after you reading it. I'm going to make it happen. We're going to do another forum about marketing, and it will be the guest speaker will be again Dr. Wang. Okay, so just keep I will keep you posted. There's another one is from June Fang. I think her let me find it. It's quite oh, June Fang, are you there? You can read your notes, your comments, or let me read
Yes,
it.
I'm here. Yes,
Yeah,
I'm here.
please
But
just read your notes or share your comments.
yeah. Which one you want me to read? I posted a couple of them.
Oh, I think the very first one you're talking about,
Okay.
this is worth more than the MBA, class.
Yes. Yeah. I'm just so excited for today's presentation. And so
Where
I'm
are you
asking
from?
for,
Just introduce yourself a little bit.
yeah. I'm June and I'm in Cincinnati, Ohio. So I'm looking, yeah. So here's the comments. The presentation is worth more than an MBA degree, which I have myself. So I'm speaking from my own experience. Dr. Wang is so gifted and talented and has amazing business strategy and marketing expertise. And 他真的是中国人的骄傲和宝藏。Thanks, everyone.
Yeah, thank you, June. Thank you for your honest yet powerful comments.
Thanks.
Thank you, June. Really appreciate your help in many of the things AE does and the side movie side. Really appreciate it. I want to echo what Jianping just said. Sounds like I'm extended an invitation to give another Zoom. So I'm holding in my hand the very book, Lean Marketing. Let me see if I can get it. You see that? Everybody see that? Lean Marketing. And this by Alan Dibb. And this
Or maybe just put on the chat the
yeah,
name and
yeah.
the author.
Yeah,
From my own experience, because I'm the host for today's event, Differentiate or Die. So I actually got the book. It's a kind of a perfect situation, encouraged or motivated me to read through the book. I learned so much. So when Dr. Wang share, his presentation with me, I just resonate a lot of things. It's more like this is a very thick book, but throughout the presentation, I feel like I get all the highlights, the essence of the book. So if we do have the second one, the lean marketing, I wish everybody get the book. And I give you enough time to read through the book, and then we will have a discussion. Just I always, if this will be successful, there might be another thing we can do down the road. We just have a reading club. Just gather all those powerful business books. We read together. We can, Dr. Wang, of course, so experienced, is expertise in many businesses. But later on, we can have the AAEA member, lead the discussion. So each one can be a leader. This is what we thought. We talked about any AAEA members should be leaders, especially in this highly competitive, society or business world. At the same time, I just want to share something because it is true, AAEA is new, but we have ambition. We really not only want to just provide another social platform, we really want to bring all those ambitious, these courageous business people together. We forge a partnership friendship, we help each other, we elevate to a much higher level. So this is why we need to work hand in hand. Okay. And also because it's new, we will start more local chapters. If you are really interested, you can just be a leader in your area. Let's just expand AAEA, differentiate ourselves. That is, AAEA is for everybody. AAEA is for those people who seek the possibilities to grow, to help each other, to build a much bigger community. So that is something we can focus on. Thank you. I do have Dr. Wang. I did see some questions. It's from the audience. I think it's very important to address.
Okay. Yes.
Maybe I cannot find the moment, the original idea, but it's kind of asking you through your journey, how you overcome the discriminations.
Oh, good
Some
question.
other audience also ask similar questions, how you overcome language barriers.
Yeah.
And identity.
Great question. Great question. I want to tell everyone in the chat room, you heard from Jianping, AAEA may hold another marketing and branding book club Zoom. And the book that I just finished reading, which is I put in the chat room, called Lean Marketing by Alan Dipp, which I referenced several times already today. And so it's in the chat room. I totally want to resonate what Jianping said. If you read the book, then you come to the Zoom, you're going to get a lot more out of it. Just like, can you imagine you study mathematics, never study the textbook, just go to an exam? You're not going to get anything out of it, exam. So as such, I think this will give us the time to read the book, and I'll prepare the Zoom for that book. So it's the AAEA Branding and Marketing Book Club Zoom. And next one is Lean Marketing. In the chat room, I also put my contact information, my email address and WeChat if you want to contact me. In particular, if you're interested in my Shiban Gongbai book, let me know and I'll be happy to mail to you. Just email me. On the screen, you can take a picture with your mailing address. So I can mail you the free book where Robbie Grayson, the publisher of the book, Shiban Gongbai, is actually on the Zoom today. We'll mail you the book as a little gift, as well as if you want to see the film, it's a free link. You can take a picture also, and then you can watch the film free. Now, regarding the question about racial discrimination, the film site does tell that. When I came, like many of you, like Zhang Liyan, Shang Li, and many of us, I came to America to study laser physics. I was a graduate from 中国科技大学 Chinese University of Science and Technology. So my 理工科 science is pretty good. Then I decided I want to be a unique doctor, knowing not just technology, but also medicine. So I made an appointment with the director of admission of a very famous medical school. And I walked in, I give him the resume. This actually depicted in the film site and also is in my book, Autobiography from Darkness to Sight. In the book, they talk about the entire detailed story of it. And so I walked in and the professor just looked at me and said, "Where are you from?" I said, "China." He said, "Why are you here?" I said, "I want to find out how to apply for medical school in America." He said, "Well, you know how hard it is to get into medical school, even for American students who were born here. You're not even from this country, from China. I don't know what kind of quality education you all have there. You have zero chance. Don't waste your time." Fortunately, I did not give up. I worked even harder. And I eventually got into Harvard, MIT, and all that. Rest of history. So what I
Dr.
learned,
Wang,
yes,
Dr. Wang,
yes,
let me introduce.
okay,
This professor, this gentleman, just was very very wrong. He just doesn't know that we have the best education possible from China, therefore best education possible from the world, from USTC, right? He just
Yes.
doesn't know that. He's
Yeah,
ignorant. Yeah.
中国科技大学, yeah, Chinese University of Science and Technology, which is like MIT of China, right? So he did not know. So, what I've learned, what happened is when this my book is made to movie, I wanted to write this professor in. So I actually call up because I want to tell the professor, you're wrong. You cannot discriminate Chinese student like that. You have to, you cannot just look at my skin or my color and make a decision how good or how bad I am. You need to, without examine the content of conduct, make a judgment purely on the color of skin. That's the definition of racial discrimination. So I work hard, I became a doctor, and eventually I said, I'm going to write up my experience. And I decided to tell the professor that you're wrong. So I wrote the book and I decided to put his name in there, exactly as it is. But I want to let him know that I'm going to do that. So I call him up. This was many years later, after I graduated and became a doctor. And I found out he died already. It was many years later. So I said, oh, he never had the chance to learn that he was wrong. He should not discriminate Chinese or any other race, ethnicity based on the skin color alone. But you know what? In a funny way, he did learn. Then you say, what? Ming, how could he learn when he died already? This is how he learned. 4 years ago in Vancouver, Canada, when the film site is being filmed, this scene of racial discrimination took place. There was a young Ming playing me in front of the professor, and the professor said, you're no good, you're Chinese, you're no good, don't waste your time. Something out of script happened. Under the watchful eyes of 250 people, half a cast, half a crew, when the young Ming was supposed to angrily turn around and walk away from the professor on the set, something unexpected happened. I came out of nowhere, jumped into the limelight. I went to the young Ming's side, put my hand on his shoulder. I said, Young Ming, I got this for us. And I turned around, look at the professor actor. I said, Professor, you know who I am? The professor actor looked up, and he was surprised. He said, where's Ming come from? This is not a part of the script at all. What should I say? He looked to the director to the side. He said, should I say something? And the director had no idea. Everybody was shocked. And I said, Professor, don't look around. Don't look around. Look at me. You know who I am? I'm the Ming from the future. The reason, you know what happened to me so many years ago? You said a horrible thing. Oh, you're Chinese, you're no good. I'm so glad I did not listen to you. Because had I listened to you, I would have given up and I would not be able to achieve what I've done. So today, after so many years, I time traveled back. I time traveled back. That is because I want to tell you, Professor, racial discrimination has no place on this planet. Then I turned around to the young Ming who was playing me. I said, Young Ming, let's get out of here. I put my hand on his shoulder. We walked out. Everybody claps hands on this totally unexpected little blooper or outtake. It's actually on YouTube. If you're interested, send me a link. I'll send you the link of this 1 minute unexpected. The cameraman actually shot the whole thing. It's on YouTube. So what is my answer to your question? What I learned about how to fight racial discrimination is don't believe in it. Work even harder. Make something out of ourselves, and then years later come back to speak to that person and say, you're wrong. Through our own work. That's how we can fight racial discrimination. Finally, your question about learning English. I found the best way to learn the language is not the books, because language is not, it's not just a language, English language, but also the cultural context. When you learn like Joe DiMaggio, you say, who is Joe DiMaggio? Well, if you don't know American culture, you have no idea. He's a baseball icon. So the way I have learned English when I came here initially was to watch American films. I watched several hundreds, maybe 1,000 American films, more than average Americans, because it's one way to learn language and the culture at the same time. That's all I talk about in my book, by the way, how I learned the language, and also how I overcome racial discrimination. If you're interested in the book, It's $25. You can visit Wang Foundation. You can click donate button. If you send a check to Wang Foundation, all proceeds go to foundation. I will send you a signed book as a little gift, so we can help more blind orphan children. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Wang, for answering the questions, especially how to overcome the racial discrimination and the language, barriers. But of course, practice makes perfect. And a lot of times, I know as Asian Americans, we're so good in reading English, but rather than spoken the language. So that is just practice more. Never afraid of making mistakes. That is how you can improve. And so thank you so much. I know the times is 10 o'clock right now. And
can I ask a question?
Okay, I just give one more question. So if you want to go ahead.
Okay, my name is Annie, and then I'm from Texas. I know Dr. Wang is a Christian, and I also go to a Christian church. And I want, if I can ask Dr. Wang, can you share your perspective on applying the principles that you were talking about for a Chinese church looking to transforming to a local community church? Because looking at our second generation, most of our kids actually speak English. And eventually, the Chinese church nowadays will transform to like English speaking. And I'm trying to apply it, but then do we keep all the Chinese culture, like trying to differentiate our church to the other English speaking church by keeping, like, we have Chinese school, we have some Chinese food, luncheons and all that to attract people to come to attend your church?
Great question. So that's apply Jack Trout system once again. That's the beauty of the book club like that, right? We learn from the master, Jack Trout, and we apply his system to the problem that we have on hand. So again, the system is market research, differentiation, credential, and communication, right? Market research, I think you already done. You already figure out what the population you want to serve. The Chinese American community, Chinese and American, and mostly Chinese, but also live in America. Cultural root is in the East. The present life is in the West. Differentiation. That is something really require thinking. Because differentiation has to be something who you are, but at the same time, what people want. Let me repeat. Differentiation has to be something who you are intrinsically, and at the same time is also what people need. So, and then of course, credential. I think you all got the credential because you are Chinese Americans, you know East and West, and your family story, experience speak to that. And communication, very important. You got to speak out and let people know about. So let's focus on the differentiation. Here's my suggestion. Studying Jack Trout. I'm a student. I'm not as good, great as Jack Trout and Alan Dibb, all these geniuses, but I just learned how to stand on the shoulder geniuses and learn a little bit more from them. Okay. If I use Jack Trout system in terms of differentiation, here's my suggestion. Today, as I said, I took the film to 500 some churches. Lots of them are Asian American churches. I found that these churches are losing audiences, particularly young people. Chinese American churches getting older. Traditional attendees, the kids may come with the parents to the Chinese American churches at the beginning, but when they got into college, they don't want to come back. Why? What is it about Asian American churches that you can utilize genetically who you are, what you're about, and then at the same time meet the need? My suggestion is build a common ground focus. on the screen, this is my book, Common Ground Bible Study, to show that what defines Christians is the ability to unite people together. In fact, today, in the world, some of the Christians are some of the worst polarizers. They acted in the opposite way of what Jesus Christ has did. Christ is the ultimate common ground seeker. Common ground seeking in my foundation, Common Ground Network, is the common ground steps, STPS. You got to see the common ground between East and West. You got to trade places. Look at West, look at it, and look at from East perspective, look at it. You got to demonstrate empathy. When you meet someone different, instead of yelling and shouting, we need to develop the SALT principles. Start a conversation. A, ask a question. L, listen, and then and only then talk. P, persevere, pay the price if the right thing to do, finally put in action. You know who inspired us to formulate this common ground seeking steps? It's none other than Jesus Christ himself. Christ, S, saw the common ground with us as human beings. T, he traded places by becoming one of us. E, he demonstrated empathy towards people in the lowest around the society. Women by the well in the Bible. Nobody wants to talk to her. Christ did. P, paid the price. He paid the ultimate price by dying for our sin at the cross. Finally, he put into action. He saw the common ground. So that's why we published this book with my pastor, the Common Ground Bible Study, to show it's not only Christ's calling for all Christians to be common ground seekers, but also how to find the common ground. Today, the world is going the other way. Many Christians are some of the worst polarizers. They hate yelling anybody who do not agree with them. That's the opposite of what Christ wants us to do. So my suggestion to your church, straddle between East and West. Build a new focus of being a common ground seeker. They demonstrate that this is a church, it's not about Chinese or it's not about America. It's about Chinese and America. It's not about the world should go east or the world should go west. It's about the world should go forward. It's about being critical of non-Christians are no good, not safe, condemned. It's about recognizing our underlying shared humanity. It's not about being a polarizer, such as many Christians can demonstrate today, but it's about common ground seeking, doing what Jesus wants us to do the most, which is love another person despite the difference. So that's my suggestion. There are very few churches today are common ground churches. Very few churches recognize this ultimate teaching of Jesus Christ because, as I said, many Christians today are some of the worst polarizers. But that's where you can travel the road less traveled.
Thank you so much.
Common ground church. And that's how you can differentiate.
Thank you very much. Thank you. But I just want to make one more comment because I was touched by there's Mr. Zhang talking about generosity and also donations. But also Dr. Wang talked about like common ground. And I think regrettably to say that a lot of the Chinese, even in the Christian world, we don't accept people in a lower hierarchy. The church is actually like open our door for any kind of people. But then when we see the homeless people or people not as wealthy, and then we use an other kind of like attitude towards them. So I think this is something the Chinese American, we have been here for so many years. I can still see that rooted in us that we have to change.
Yes.
That's my comment. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you so much. Due to the time, we cannot go through each questions or the comments, but please feel free to contact Dr. Wang if you have any questions. I think Dr. Wang is happy to answer the questions and give you advice. Right, Dr. Wang?
Oh, yes, anytime. In the chat room, by the way, ladies and gentlemen, I put my contact information there already. In the chat room, you see, I will copy and paste one more time in there. Oh, actually, Zach already did it. Thank you, Zach. That's my contact information, email, and email me anytime, any question. And I suggest everybody, the last thing I suggest, leave your name and email address in the chat room. Leave your name and email address in the chat room so that Jianping can then put it into a email list to let you know when the next AAEA marketing branding Zoom will be, which is to study Lean Marketing by Alan Dipp, which I put the book's title and author I put in the chat room already. So if you want to be informed when next one will be, if you want to be part of the movement of AAEA that is provides something that Asian American business entrepreneur truly need, but yet cannot find anywhere else. That is definition of AAEA. Join the movement. Put your name and email address in the chat room before we close so that Jianping can take a screenshot or whatever, electronically save that so we can keep you posted about the next marketing branding Zoom of AAEA.
Let me ask our IT Zachary, what's the best way so we can keep the contact information? Is it through the Zoom chat or through the
You can save. You can before make sure you just go to the chat window. There is the option you can save to your computer or save to the cloud. Just wait to leave the meeting until you have done that.
Okay, thank you, thank you.
So maybe Zach can do that. Jianping, I do have a suggestion.
Yes.
Can everybody open the camera? Let's take a picture. I'm gonna use myself because that will post on AAEA's website.
I think in that
open your camera in your pajamas. That's okay.
You might need stop sharing, and then we have a screenshot.
So in other words, we are let the computer run. So Zach has the background time in the back office time, Jianping, to save it, to program it, save the chat room.
Right now, now it's fine.
So we can use the time, take pictures. So everybody open your camera, and I have my cell phone here. So I'm going to count to 10, okay? If you don't appear in 10, you're not going to be included in this honor roll on the AAEA website. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9, 10. Okay, get on the screen. Then we probably have another screen. Maybe it's the only screen. Okay, so I'm going to take a picture now. Everybody hold up victory sign or something. Okay. And I think I only got one screen. Oh, there's another screen. Okay. Yeah, second screen. Everybody open it. Not very many people open the camera, the second screen. So anyway, I'm going to take a picture anyway. Okay. Yeah, and the peak time, ladies and gentlemen, we have like almost 100 people, 98 or something. So it's really wonderful. Thanks to Jianping,
definitely that book reading will be happening. So just stay tuned.
Dr. Wang, Jianping, before you guys go, can I ask a question?
Okay.
Maybe
in that
you
case,
don't answer today because you have a second one.
It's a later question.
Yeah, my question is, most people online read a book called 穷爸爸,富爸爸, right?
Yes.
按照 Chairman Mao 就是说这个知识分子哈 knowledgeable people have a lot of title, a lot of degree. Chairman Mao 说是臭老九。My question is, a lot of people wrote a book, published a lot of paper, but not talk about a billionaire, not even 千万富翁, not even 10 million. So my question is, how come? Just like one lady asked, she has a mathematical degree, computer science degree, then she trade foreign exchange, but she want to make more money. So my question, I don't expect a concrete answer because everybody have different perspective, different answer. And I've been in the United States since 1992, so more than 30 years. A lot of different kind of association. But so far, a lot of top degree from Ivy League. So far, nobody can compete with Elon Musk. My question is, when people have a lot of knowledge, a lot of degree, a lot of books, somehow, some way they don't have guts anymore. 用中文讲就是没有胆量了，有很多知识，有很多学位，没有胆量。They cannot all out. Anyway, I don't want to give my answer because everybody have different answer. So maybe Dr. Wang have different answer, or Dr. Li Yanzhang, my senior brother, have different answer. So we can read a lot of book, tens of thousands of books, but by end of the day, how to apply the knowledge is the key. That's my question. Thank you.
Great question. Anyone?
That is more like start a new round of discussion. Let's save it for the next session. But you did mention the rich dad and poor dad. I think really we need to generate a book like list. Like you can read the books, and apparently Dr. Wang can share, his experience, his understanding of the book. But once you become the AAEA members, if you are expertise in certain area, you want to lead the discussion of certain books, let's do it. Because just like I mentioned, we need to empower ourselves with knowledge, with the wisdom that you draw from other people's experience. But eventually, you have to make it happen. You have to apply what we have learned through these forums from, reading the books. So that is very important. I think you just raised a very important question, because especially Chinese, people, including myself, I graduated from Ivy League. I'm very good at, academics, and I can read the books and I can present the ideas, but how can we make it happen? It's not just to become a millionaire or billionaire or something. I think the value, how you just share the value to help other people is also, to me, is more important. Become like the millionaire. What's your self-worth, or what's your social worth to the society? But that is another discussion, right? Because there's so many things. I especially grateful today is it's never happened in AAEA like history. When we have an online meetings or conference, there's so many audience and chipping the ideas. We have a heated discussion, and most of us feel like we learned something, or we learned a lot from this, and look forward to next forum or next conference. That is makes a huge difference, or it really make me very honored and happy. So I thank you all for this. I'm just have to sorry because I have to conclude our a session today. So as we come to the end of tonight's forum, I just want to thank Dr. Wang for sharing his expertise and inspiring us to think deeply about differentiation. Thank you also to our audience for your thoughtful questions and participation. Remember, differentiation is not just a strategy. It's a mindset. It's about finding what makes you uniquely valuable and committing to it wholeheartedly. So on behalf of AAEA, I want to thank everyone for joining us tonight. This is just the beginning of a series of forums designed to empower you with the tools to succeed. Let's continue this conversation, support one another, and strive to differentiate ourselves in meaningful ways. Stay tuned for future events, and until then, keep innovating, keep differentiating, and keep winning. So good night, and thank you all. Thank you, Dr. Wang. Thank you, everybody. We'll
Thank
see
you,
you
Jianping.
next time.
Yeah, thank you. I want to also thank Wang Linghui for really spending so much time promoting it, sending everybody the WeChat. You all got tons of Linghui's. She spent lots of time in communicating and instrumental in making it successful. Linghui Jianping, Jamie Wang, our fearless leader of AAEA, and also the president of the association, everybody. Thank you for the opportunity.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Wang, and thank you, Zach, and thank you, Lin Hui, thank you, Jimmy Wang, and thank you, Yanbing Pan, our current president.
Yes, Yanbing, yes, the current president of AAEA. Yes, thank you.
Thank you. So have a good night and see you next time.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Thank you, everyone.